So hello everyone, this is Ashutosh Gupta, and let's check that whether we are live or not. So I think we are live. Yeah, we are live. So yeah, so we are doing a weekly contest in a virtual mode, 277, right? So let's jump to the problem and try to solve as many as I can. Then I will try to uh, complete those questions which I am unable to do that. So let's start the contest. Okay, so let's again check whether it is. Yeah, I think it is streaming. Yeah, so let's go to the first problem. Count elements with strict element. Count elements with strictly smaller and greater elements. So given integer, return the number of elements that have both a strictly smaller and a strictly greater number appear. Return the number of elements that have both strictly smaller. So suppose here is example 11, 7, 2, 50. So the element 7 has 2 elements in it, and the element 11 is strictly greater than it. So the smaller than 7, element 7 has the element 2 that is smaller than it, and element 11 is greater than it, right? And 11 has element has 7 elements. Okay. So the element 3 has since there are 2 elements with value 3, so in total there are 2 elements. Having strictly smaller and greater appear. Strictly greater elements in numbers. So we have 100. Not understanding the problem properly, so let's read again. So given an integer array num, return the number of elements that have both a strictly numbers. Okay, fine. Okay, so what we can do here, we have only 100 numbers, right? Let's don't need to optimize it. We don't need to optimize it, so we can directly code it, right? So let's make first loop. So we are taking one line, so complexity will be n square, right? So we will take two values, and v1 equal to 0 and v2 equal to 0. So for both the conditions should be satisfied, right? So we are using that, and then we will plus plus, then we are just checking the value. If nums dot I is greater than nums dot j, means number is greatly smaller than, make k1 equal to 1, right? Similarly, if nums dot I is less than nums.way make k2 equal to 1, right? Then both are equal. So now if k1 and k2, if both are true, then count as plus. Initialize it first, so find count into 0, right? Then simply return that value. I know it is not optimized, but the values are very same, no need for that. Let's check it here. So answer 2 and I think it should be 2, so let's submit that. It will be fine, I think. Yeah, it has submitted. Let's go to the next problem. So rearrange arrays element by sign. Okay, so we have to arrange elements by sign, and okay, we have spent about 6 minutes. Okay, fine. So you are given a zero-based indexing number is a length consistent of equal numbers of positive and negative integers. Okay, rearrange the elements in non such pattern. Follow the given condition. Every consecutive pairs of elements have opposite signs. Okay, it should be opposite signs like that. Okay, for all integers it means in the order in which is for all integers it's the same sign. Okay, order should be maintained. So here is minus 2, then minus 5, then minus 1, then 4, 3, 3, then 1, 1, then 2, yeah, 2, okay, 5, and the rearrange and begin with the positive integer 5. So return the modified after rearranging value. Okay, it should not be a tough one. Supposing a positive number, so let's store the positive number there. Right, and then print it, right? So complexity is not very high, order of magnitude fine. Yeah. So let's make two vectors. Here are 1, here are 2. Then let's calculate over the array. Then just say if number is positive, then push here are 1 dot, push back, and so fine, otherwise neutralize. So we have two arrays, they are of same even n, so there will be no any problem of that. And then we can simply make a loop. Okay, int I 0 minus n num dot size plus 2 comma I plus. So we are taking the half value of both. And let's create a vector, okay, of answer. So here is an answer vector, and let's push its value. So it should be positive, so let's push the value of positive array, and then like that, and then simply return the answer. I think it is fine. Yeah. Let's check it first. Yeah, it is fine. Let's make it hope so. Yeah, it is accepted. Now let's go to the third problem. and time we have spent 4 minutes for that. Okay, so we have third problem. You are given an integer array num. The number x is only when it is appear only once. Okay, and no adjacent numbers. We return all numbers. Okay. Numbers may return in another file. So it should be one file and no adjacent numbers. Was the number x appear in the array. Okay, so I think we have to store the value. Okay, initial manner. So we can use map and we can search whether x present or not, and then we will try to print that one, right? We can use another map for that. I think the questions are pretty much easier this time. So let's make another map. Set will be fine also. So let's go for set. Okay. But in fact we can count the frequency, right? So map will be good. So we are just counting the frequency here. Okay, no problem, fine. Then we will make the vector print answer. Okay, then we will loop again. I plus fine, and then we will check that the frequency of that number should be 1. Then we will 1 and MP of that number's adjacent number should also not be present. So it should be 0 and the other case it should be 0. If it is right, then push the answer. Yeah, I think it will be fine because order doesn't matter. Let me check. 10815, 10815. Yeah, it's right. Let's submit that. Should not give TLE. Yeah, it is submitted. So we have 4 minutes. We are also sitting here. Let's do the last problem. Hope so it will be tough. Yeah, it's looking like that. But 1,000 people have submitted, so I can't see. But it's hard. Let's read the problem. So maximum good people based on statements. Whether we are streaming? Yeah, we are streaming. Okay. Please check the video resolution. Okay, fine. So there are two persons. There are two types of persons. The good person, the person who tells the truth. Okay. And the bad person, the person who might tell the truth, might lie. So we can't trust this, but we can trust this. So we have given a 0 index 2D integer, add a statement of size n cross n. The statement represents that where n people the statement where n was and that represents the statements made by n people about each other. Okay. Is it a celebrity problem? It looks like that. Okay, so more specific statement ij could be one of the following. 0 which represent a statement made by person I. If the person I is that person, J is a good bad person. Good person, okay. To represent that no statement is made by person X. In addition, no person ever make a statement about themselves. Okay. Formally we have a statement I equal to 2. Yeah, I. Return the maximum number of people who can be good based on the statements made by the n people. So the question is very much vague. So let me write in my copy. Okay, so here is 212, 122 and 202. Okay, so the first person tells about the second person 1, means he is good. Okay, assuming person 2 is a good person. Okay, I'm getting it. Means suppose person 2 is good, right? So if person 2 is good, so he will tell only truth. Means 0 and 1 are 0 and 1 are bad, right? So if assuming person 2 is bad but said the truth, so said truth, so person 2 is, it is very much complex thing. The person 2 is bad person. Yeah, okay. And he lied. So झूठ means that he will tell the light to both of them or either of them. Who might tell the truth? Okay, we have to go through that part. Return the maximum number of people who can be good. So if a person is good, then he will tell the truth. Okay. Here is it. The answer is 2. Means there are 2 maximum numbers. Assume that let takes person 2 as the key. Assuming the person 2 is a good person, based on the statement made by the person 2, person 1 is a bad person. Now we know that for sure that person 1 is bad and person 2 is good. Okay. Based on the statement made by the person 1, since person 1 is bad, they conclude to be telling the truth. They will contradict. There will be a contradiction in this case. This assumption is invalid. So here the person 1 is bad. Person 2, so according to person 2, person 1 is 1. 1 means and lying. So according to he will tell the truth. So if I found that the person 3 no state is made by person I. What person here? So person 2 has made no n equal to what person 3, but he had made the statement that person 1 is a good person. And we have assumed based on the statement made by the person 2, person 1 is a bad person. How we are making this bad person? 1 will represent a statement that the person I is that person J is a good person, right? I J. Person I is not person J, right? Person 0 statement. Person 0 stated that person 1 is good, right? And person 1 stated that person 0 is good. Okay? And person 2 stated that person 1 is bad. Okay. So we have to find the maximum person that could be a bad, good. Oh, it's little bit contradict. Okay, let's try again. So person 2 0 1 2, person 2 stated that person 1 is bad, right? Person 0 stated that here 2 means doesn't make any sense, right? So person 1 is good, right? Okay. It's like a grouping, so union find something like that, but I'm unable to think that way. So let's think what we can do. Okay, so this one. Okay, so let's take person 2 as the key. Person 2 as the key. Assuming that person 2 is a good person. So we are assuming that this is a good person, okay? So if this is a good person, he will tell a lie. He will tell the truth. So person 1 is bad, right? So person is bad. Okay, so this is bad, so this will not come. And he doesn't tell about other one. So we will assume and also assume that person 0 is true. Let the second case. So he tells that person 1 is good. There is contradiction. Following that person 2 is a good person, there will be only one person in the group. Yeah. Following that, if person 2 is bad, it makes sense, huh? So if you think that person 2 is right, then person 1 will be bad, right? And if person 1 will be bad, then this person is bad, right? And person 0, if it is also good, then person 1 is good, but it is contradicting itself. So we can conclude that only person 2 is right. Following that, if person 2 is bad, but it tells the truth, then we will no good person in the group. So suppose this is a bad, so we will not count that, but it tells the truth. So it tells the truth means it is bad and he is saying true, then he is also bad and he is also bad, so no one is good. Following that, person 2 is bad and lied. then means is a good, this one good, and this one good, so 2 is good. So now we see at most 2% are good in this case, so we return to. Note that there is more than one way to arrive at that conclusion. Right. So suppose there are two persons. Person 0 stated that the person 1 is bad, and person 2 is bad. Take person 0 as the key, so we are taking 0 as the key and make the assumption. So I think so there are three conditions. Okay, let's take the constant. Oh, okay. It is only 15. 0, 1, 2, 3 ways, right? Okay, 15, then 15 into 15. Let's check that. 15 into 55. Okay, 255. We can do this problem. So suppose for each person we have made certain assumptions, right? So these are the assumptions, right? 2 is no any valid case. 0 and 1, we should focus on 0 and 1 only. So these are the following conditions, right? And we have to make a pool out of it. So which are the groups should be taken out? So I mean, if there are 15 people, so how much way it is? So let's say 15 factorial. How much is 15 factorial? I don't know what 15 factorial, but it's much more higher. Okay, so person 2 is the key. So suppose we have 15, right? 2 to the power 15. I'm just checking the complexity, so it will help us to do the. Okay, so 0, 4. Okay, so we can do like a DFS or a BFS, something like that, right? So let's assume that we will make a decision that person 0 is telling the truth. Okay, let me think that. So if a P1 person tells the truth, then we go to this other given case. If this is telling the false but telling the truth, or telling a lie, right? And by this way we can reach to the end. Okay, so I think that I can do. If I am unable to do that, or I will get a TLE, then I will stop this string and I will update the solution lately. Okay, so do you know any problem? So it already get 28 minutes, so we are already late. Okay, so what we can do, let's think first. So we have to make a decision, right? For each person, what should we take? right? And we have also to make pools, that if it is right, then what these conditions should come into the matter, right? Yeah, it should not, it will be no, it should be easy, not very much tough, I think. So first we have to get the number and make it statement include mixed matrix. Right, we have got the value of n. Then we have the answer 0, right? And we will call it DFF. Let's make a DFF, something like that, and we will definitely pass vector. And we will pass the position. Okay, so person. Okay, then if the person is right or false, and what are the which persons are telling the truth, or which persons are telling a lie, and what about, so this is the part, and the last part is what about the contradiction. So if this is a good person, and suppose two persons are good and they are both telling a different story, means definitely we can't count that one, right? Okay, so there are many conditions I think we have to focus on. The first thing is, suppose we have mapped that person 1 is good, and so if he is good, all the statements should be right? All the validation that he have told. So we have to check with our previous answer that if there is any contradiction or not. So if there is any contradiction, so we will stop that part, that no, that is false, right? Yeah. So we have something like a set where the only we are storing true statement, right? So we can use a set. So we will use a set here. I'm not sure whether it should be. We can change later. I think for now it's good. Okay. So suppose we have got the person, we have the set, we have the answer matrix, right? Yeah. So suppose P is good, right? Then what will we do? Or suppose it is false, then what will we do? So suppose if he is good, the person or he or she is good, so we will validate the allegations which he have told should be right. So let's make one truth, and let's make one set. It is false. Okay. if it we get the value of it, and where here it will taking only truth. Okay, no problem of that. So this set is telling the truth part, right? And if it is telling the false, and then we can make a judgment according to that part. So if it is true, then the statements which we made should be true. Okay. So here it is a true statement, right? Here it is false statement. True here is not a true statement. Or whether that person is good or bad, it is telling that part. We can just mix that one also in a pair. No problem on that. So let's make a pair. A pair maybe it will be not good. Okay. What should we do? Unable to find out the way, we have to do that, so it will be much easier for us. Let's think to make okay. Let's go through. Suppose he is a good person, so we will go through all the statement of this, and we will validate with our answer that whether it is telling a truth or it is telling a false, right? And suppose we have unable to find that one, right? Then we will go to the next statement and pushing that value, because when we are using the data, his data, if it is a good person, then we will use that one. If it tell the light, अगर वो झूठ, if it telling a light, so if person 0 is telling a light, or person 0 is telling a lie, lie means lied here means he is telling lie for everyone, no? So suppose a person is bad and he is telling a lie, means person 1 is good, here person 1 is good. Yeah. Okay, so we are anyway storing the data. So in all cases we are storing data, right? Makes sense now. So here is a person, here is a what are the statements are true. Who is the good person, who is the make it good, okay. These are the good persons, these are the bad persons, right? Let's remove that a little bit. Good. So we got that P is good. If P is good, right, then it should not be present in a bad one. So if bad dot find if P is not equal to bad dot end, suppose this thing is found that this person is bad, else. Okay. So we are making assumptions, there is no any doubt. There is no any bad and good, we can definitely make a sense here, right? So if we are making that he is a bad person, so his statement will be true or bad, mixed cases, right? Yeah. But in case of any contradiction, then we have to take the maximum one. It is little bit complex. I think this training will go very much. I will give 20 minutes more. If it will be fine, then otherwise I will stop this stream. No any point to watch me struggle like that. So what can I do? So let's start. Let's code, then we can make a count. So if a person P is come and we have two sets, a set of bad or a good, okay? So from our point of view, we have taken certain decisions, right? Right. Okay. So here we have, let's suppose we have unable to find that it's a bad person, okay? Then we can take whether it is good or okay. So suppose let's make another set is even equal to good. We have taken good. Comma bad one equal to bad, right? And suppose he is telling us truth, right? So we will just make okay. So suppose he is telling the truth. So what he will do? He will do that. Okay, right? So it's Matt on this person, and if it is true, then we will simply return that this person is true. What we can conclude about from this? Suppose we can continue. No need to. Yeah, right. We will think, and we will later think what should we have to do. And set pi equal to 0. So if it is 0, this means that person is bad, right? So we can make b1 dot insert, okay, because it is set. So it is right, okay. And suppose that suppose here we have find that two persons are contradicting themselves. So either one of them is true, right? So then what we will do? That is the case where we have to take out the maximum case, right? Okay. So these are the three cases. Yeah, these are the three cases. What there should be a set or what? Oh, these are the four. Good person, bad person, right? Okay, okay. So we have, firstly we have firstly we have suppose that that P is good, right? P is good, that all the statements will be true. So if it is no any making sense, then I will simply continue. No need to, okay, yeah, fine, no need to get the other part. And then if it's saying that P is and that person is false, okay, is 0, so he means that that person is false. So we have to check that whether we have taken in a good or bad, right?